Okay, good afternoon, Professor and classmates. The time of China now is about 4:30, so good afternoon. Today I select a journal paper from the Language Learning Journal last time published in 2017, written by Anna. The title is Analysis of Accuracy in the Writing uh, of EFL students enrolled on CLIL and non-CLIL programs, the impact of grade and gender. Here from the title or the keywords, we can gain some information to help understand what the paper will talk about. Here, the author gave us 6 keywords. The first one is CLIL. I think it adds context in this paper. It means content and language integrated learning. It is very important in this paper, so I won't repeat it again. So please remember what is CLIL, and this is non-CLL, means the students participated in the non-content and language integrated learning group. Okay, then the writing adds the tool, accuracy and errors, I think, as the methodology or the index, and the grade and gender means what the author will think or will talk about. So after read the title, what is your idea? I ask you this question because after write the title, I give a hypothesis. I think students in CLIL program will show better writing accuracy than in non-CLIL and give grade and higher grade will demonstrate greater writing accuracy. And about the gender, according to the students around me, I believe the writing accuracy of females are better, will show better than male, and females in CLIL will perform better than in non-CLIL. Then what do you think? Then we can analyze the paper to verify if my or your hypothesis are received. Okay, according to the keywords from the introduction of the paper, we can know why the author chose the topic. In the foreign language classes, writing is a useful tool for assessing the language ability of learners, and accuracy can be defined as not deviating from a specific language specification. It is ability to be error-free when using language for written or oral communication. And CLIL cultivates an implicit and incidental learning by focusing on meaning and communication, thereby improving the overall language ability of the target language. And different from the previous studies, the method adopted in this article is based on the analysis of specific errors made by students into teaching environments. So I think this introduction will be a better reason for the author why he will choose this as a topic, or why he carried out this study. Then the author lists some previous studies about written accuracy and error behavior, benefits of CLIL, and something like that. Here, I I won't list one by one, just two scholars. The first one is Vesper. Analyzed the task written by a group of L2 English learners in the first and third year grades of high school. They investigated 64 independent variables with 5 different levels from beginner to intermediate. The results of the study show that at higher level of proficiency, all measures seem to improve. Then the basin, I don't know how to pronounce it. He studied the development trajectory of second language accuracy through a mislabeled version of language as a foreign language learner corpus. And the research shows that from intermediate to advanced levels, vocabulary improves the most. The results show that the error development patterns of English learners tend to be dominated by progress and stability trends. Okay, I will show you the two studies. If you are interested in the other fields of studies, you can read the paper. Then we come to the present research. The article aims to provide new empirical evidence of writing accuracy through a dual approach: analysis of errors made by learners, especially the errors made by two groups of students. And the first group participated in the CLIL program, and the other group participated in the formal teaching plan, namely non-CLIL program. Here, it gives 3 research questions. First one is, there a significant difference in written accuracy between the third and fourth year CLIL and non-CLIL groups? And second, which level makes more overall errors, and what kinds of errors, like syntactic, morphological, lexicogrammatical, punctuation, or spelling, has the largest percentage in each group and level? And last one, is there a significant difference in written accuracy between males and females? Okay, the research was conducted in 7 national high schools in Spain, and the participants were 393 secondary education students. They started learning English at the age of 5, and the entire sample was divided into 4 groups. First 2 groups enrolled on a CLIL program, and the second in the second group was students didn't participate in CLIL program. One group is composed of 98 students in the 3rd grade of middle school, and the second group is composed of 90 students in the 4th grade of middle school. And among the total number of students, there are 195 boys and 198 girls, and students join the programs on a voluntary basis, and no selection criteria are prescribed by the schools. Both instruction programs follow a communicative approach, but the formal instruction program puts a greater emphasis on language form and grammar. And this data come from written essay activities completed by participants in their classrooms. And for writing activities, students are asked to write, do you think school uniforms should be worn at the high school, and they must finish the writing in 30 minutes. And these essays assess different aspects of L2 accuracy through a series of quantitative measurements. The metrics used are error-free sentence ratio, that is the total number of error-free sentences divided by the total number of sentences, and the error ratio for each word, that is the total number of errors divided by the total number of words. And errors were analyzed and scored as syntactic, morphological, lexical, lexigrammatical, spelling, and punctuation errors. And errors were calculated as percentages of the total number of examples of a particular error divided by the number of words. Then about the results. We can review the first research question. Is there a significant difference in written accuracy between the third and fourth year CLIL and non-CLIL groups? We can analyze the p-value here. In terms of the proportion of errors, the p-value between the two groups in CLIL is smaller than 0.01. So it means there is significant difference between the third and fourth group in CLIL group. Well, there is no significant difference in non-CLIL. Then, according to the error-free sentences, CLIL third-year students wrote significantly fewer error-free sentences than their fourth-year counterparts here. And in construct, there is no significant difference in non-CLIL. So according to the two parts, we can conclude that significant differences in accuracy between third and fourth year students solely in the CLIL group. Then the next question, which level makes more over all errors? What kind of errors has the largest percentage in each group and level? And in terms of previous instruction, we judge the writing accuracy with three kinds of errors. And according to the results, the results show that there are 5 significant differences in errors here, and the p-value, all the p-values are less than 0.01. And expect lexigrammatical errors here is 0.886 is more than 0.05, so there is no significant difference. So we can summarize that the non-CLIL group exhibited a higher proportion of errors in each of the error categories assessed, namely morphological errors, syntactic errors, lexical errors, lexigrammatical errors, punctuation errors, and spelling errors. Here we can see something in detail. When we compare the CLIL group and the non-CLIL group in the third and fourth years, we found that in the CLIL group, with the exception of pronunciation, errors. The percentage of errors in all assessment types indicated the trend toward improved proficiency. This improvement is significant in terms of syntactic errors, vocabulary errors, and lexical grammatical errors. However, punctuation errors in this group have increased significantly. Here we can see the number, and there is a mistake here. This is the fourth year CLIU. And in the non-CLIU group, although we observe the improvement in grammar, vocabulary, spelling, and lexical grammatical errors, only lexic grammatical errors were significantly reduced. Here we can see. Okay, then this is a more specific in different errors. We observed that students in the non-CLIU group make more errors of various types. And except for one grammatical error and one vocabulary grammatical error, totally there were significant differences between the CLIU group and the non-CLIU group. In 11 morphological errors, 9 syntactic errors, 3 lexical errors, 1 lexic grammatical error, 3 punctuation errors, and assessed spelling errors. Okay, when we also consider the group, grade when analyzing the error subtypes of the CLIU group and the non-CLIU group, when we observe the overall trend of error reduction, which seemed more pronounced in the CLIU group. Therefore, when we analyze the results in detail, we found that following error subtypes were significantly reduced in the upper grade of CLIU group. Here, this one, adjective number, this one, incorrect preposition and sentence unclear, sentence incomplete, lexical single words, and lexic grammatical complementation. Okay, then with respect to the non-CLIU group, here we can see 4 significant differences. The first one is verb tense and the relative pronouns and the lexical connectors and the lexic grammatical complementation. Then we come to the results of the third research question. Is there a significant difference in written accuracy between male and female participants? When we examined the difference between sexes, we observed that female participants made significantly fewer mistakes than male participants. This occurred in both groups, but the difference was only significant in the non-CLIU group. Here, this one. When we compared error types by sex, we observed that girls made significantly fewer syntactic and lexic errors. And when we also considered the instruction context, we observed that whereas in the CLIU group there were no significant difference between the sexes, and in the non-CLIU group, female participants made significantly fewer syntactic and lexical errors. Here. And there were some subtypes of errors that were significantly more frequently made by other sex. In case of boys, here, morphological errors, syntactic errors, the elation of punctuation. Girls, morphological errors and syntactic errors. And when we compare the error subtypes made by male and female participants considering the instruction context CLIL or the non-CLIL, we observed no significant differences in the CLIL, whereas in the non-CLIL, there were some significant differences between boys and girls. And the specific analysis of errors, and in particular the comparison between the two instruction contexts in error categories committed by third and fourth year students, provided us with some interesting findings regarding punctuation errors, which increased in both contexts and even significantly in CLIL context. One possible explanation for these errors is that increasing complexity may be at play. As learners move beyond the early intermediate stage, they may attempt longer sentences into which they try to pack more information, hence the possible confusion between punctuation markers on the one hand and coordination on the other. This apparent trade-off to accuracy and complexity seems to support against limited complex capacity hypothesis. According to due to limitations in attentional resources, learners need to stay constant balance between giving more attention to either accuracy or complexity of their L2. This constitutes a key finding, as per punctuation tends to be an under-researched area in second language acquisition and teaching, especially from a developmental perspective. And the analysis of error subtypes revealed some cases of regression and stabilization tendencies, with articles posing problems in both contexts and prepositions, determiners, voice, subordination, and word order in the non-CLIL context. It is necessary to point out that some of these errors may be related both to the learner's proficiency level as well as L2 background. And in the present study, female participants didn't significantly outperform their male peers in written accuracy in the CLIL group, as they did in the non-CLIL group. Hence, it could be concluded that CLIL helps balance the gender differences. Our data point to the need for more studies that compare the students' rating performance in their L2 and their L1 in order to find out which errors are specifically related to the L2. In addition, a combination of quantitative methods that focus on a product with ethnographic and questionnaire data that focus on participants would surely help with the interpretation of the results and clarify important morphological and syntactic errors. And CLIL programs seem to have blurred these gender-based differences because both male and female students might feel more motivated to learn both the language and the subject matter. And as a result, no gender-based differences are observed in the groups. These findings call for more research to confirm the possible benefits of CLL context to help eliminate the gender differences in foreign language learning. Okay, this is what I want to share with you about the paper. Thank you, and see you next time.